Welcome back for another deep dive. And today we're diving into the world of German artist Hans Helmuth Sievers.
Interesting choice.
Yeah, I think this one is really going to be a good one for our listeners.
Definitely.
So to give everybody a little background, the main source we're using today is pretty unique.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's a booklet that Sievers' daughter, Andrea, created
Okay.
to go with an online exhibit of his work.
So it's like having a personal guide.
Exactly. It's not just a regular art history book, you know?
More intimate?
Yes. We're getting a daughter's perspective, which, full of personal anecdotes and, insights.
Yeah, you can't really get that anywhere else.
So we're not just going through a timeline of Sievers' life, but we're on a journey through his life and art led by someone who knew him better than anyone.
I love that. Me
too.
Okay.
So to really kick things off, let's start at the beginning.
Sounds good.
Sievers was born in 1923 in Hamburg, Germany.
Okay.
And like many artists, he showed a talent for art pretty early on. But his path wasn't, a straight line.
Oh, what happened?
Well, his father, like a lot of fathers, I guess, he pulled Sievers out of school at 16.
Oh, wow.
To start a business apprenticeship.
I bet he wasn't happy about that.
I know a lot of our listeners can relate to that struggle,
Definitely that pressure to, follow a traditional path, even if your heart is pulling you in a different direction.
Absolutely. And Sievers definitely felt that conflict, but he didn't give up on art.
Oh, good. I was about to ask her that.
Yeah, so the booklet mentions that he ended up finding a different apprenticeship.
Okay.
One that he felt was more fulfilling, and during that time, he made these really close friends.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they called themselves the Brezelbuben.
Brezelbuben. What's that all about?
So Brezelbuben translates to, pretzel boys.
Huh. Interesting.
It seems like a kind of lighthearted name, right?
Yeah, you'd think so.
But this is where things get really interesting because this group of friends, they shared this love for art and culture that was actually banned by the Nazi regime.
Whoa, that's pretty brave of them.
I know, right? It must have been so risky to, engage with what was considered degenerate art.
Yeah, especially during such a dangerous time.
Yeah, it really shows the power of art and friendship, even in the face of oppression, they found solace and meaning and creativity.
Right. They had each other and they had their art. And that's kind of beautiful in a way.
Exactly. And get this, Sievers actually even created his own illustrated booklet back in 1946.
Wow. So he was already creating art even back then.
Yeah. And it just shows you how strong his artistic drive was. Nothing could really stop him.
It really makes you think about how, historical context shapes artistic expression.
Yeah.
I mean, here's this young artist navigating a world where creativity itself is dangerous.
Yeah.
But he finds a way to express himself,
It's really inspiring.
And he's actually preserving a piece of history through his work.
That's a great point.
It's more than just pretty pictures,
Right.
It's a record of a time and a place.
Absolutely. So after the war, Sievers ended up going back to Hamburg. And his daughter, Andrea, shares this really moving story in the booklet.
Oh, what is it?
About Sievers' experience on a Norwegian tram after the war.
Okay.
So he was the only German soldier on board, and he was really bracing himself for, a negative reaction.
Oh, I can imagine.
But nobody said anything to him.
Really?
Yeah, they just let him ride in silence.
Wow, that's
powerful.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, and it had a profound impact on Sievers.
I bet.
He was filled with this, immense gratitude, and it really gave him hope.
It's amazing how such a small act of kindness can have such a big impact.
Especially after experiencing so much trauma and, division.
Exactly. It's like a little glimmer of light in a dark time.
And this experience actually seemed to fuel his desire to create.
I can see that.
So he worked as a business clerk for a while, but then he started taking drawing classes.
Oh, okay.
And that's when he realized that art was his true calling.
That must have been a real turning point for him.
Yeah, it's a classic follow your dreams story, it's never too late to change course and really embrace your passion.
I love those stories. They're so inspiring.
And for Sievers, that decision opened up a whole new world of possibilities.
And what happened next?
Well, he ended up meeting a really important mentor.
Who was that?
An illustrator named Günther Tortzen Schultz.
Okay.
And Schultz really helped launch Sievers' career.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And soon he was getting commissions from some really major publications like Die Welt, Der Spiegel, and Die.
Hamburger Abendblatt. And that's not all. He designed book covers for big names like Fischer Taschenbuch, Surkamp, Diederik's. The list goes on.
That's incredible. He was everywhere.
He was, even though most people today don't know his name.
A hidden gem, it seems.
Totally. And get this, on top of all the freelance work, he lands a stable position at Lintus, the advertising agency.
Right. Like, this guy was on fire.
It's impressive how quickly he rose to success.
I know. I mean, obviously he was talented.
Yeah.
But he also had this drive and the connections to make things happen.
That's a great lesson for any aspiring artist out there, you know.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Talent is crucial.
Yes.
But it's also about putting yourself out there, networking, and seizing opportunities when they come along.
Absolutely. Sievers definitely knew how to do that.
Seems like...
And on top of all of that, he even found time to study art at the Künstler Amsterdam.
Wow, he was busy.
He had a really vibrant social life, too.
I bet.
And he made friends with other artists like Carolus Voigt.
So he was really living the artist's life to the fullest.
He was. But amidst all of this, creative energy, he also had this practical side.
Oh, it's interesting.
Yeah, so in 1955, he decided to join the Lintus advertising agency.
Okay, why did he do that?
Well, it was a way for him to gain financial stability while still nurturing his artistic passions.
So he was being smart about it?
Exactly. He wasn't just a dreamer, but he was also a pragmatist.
Makes sense.
And as it turned out, Lintus wasn't just about paying the bills for him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's actually where he ended up meeting his wife and starting a family.
Oh, wow.
And eventually, he even became the head of their art studio, where he got to mentor other aspiring artists.
That's amazing.
So about a win-win, right?
Right. He found a way to balance his creative pursuits with, the realities of adulthood.
Exactly. You don't always have to choose one or the other.
That you can create a life that embraces both.
Yeah, and Sievers is a great example of that.
He really is a great example of that.
It's pretty inspiring.
Definitely inspiring.
And this kind of leads us to a central theme that Andrea weaves throughout the booklet.
Okay, what's that?
It's this idea of trusting your abilities and pursuing creative expression no matter what life throws at you.
Makes sense coming from an artist.
Yeah, totally. And she shares a lot of her father's quotes.
Oh, really?
And even some from Leonardo da Vinci.
Cool.
To really highlight his artistic philosophy.
It kind of raises an important question for all of us,
What's that?
Like, how can we nurture our own creative spark amidst the everyday demands of life?
Right. How do we find that balance?
Yeah, exactly. And what can we learn from Sievers' journey about balancing pragmatism and passion?
Yeah, that's something I'm always trying to figure out.
Me too. It's a lifelong journey for sure.
Oh, and there's this other really interesting detail in the booklet.
Okay, I'm listening.
Sievers kept this personal chronicle. He called it his Lebensbaum.
Lebensbaum? What does that mean?
It literally translates to tree of life.
Oh, wow. That's deep.
I know, right? And every year he would write a single line in it about that year of his life.
Oh, wow. So it's like a really condensed autobiography?
Exactly. It gives you a glimpse into how he saw the world and, made sense of his experiences.
I love that idea. It's like each year adds another ring to the tree of his life.
Yeah, and it makes you think about your own journey,
Totally. Like, what would your one line be for each year?
That's a great question to think about.
It is. It really encourages reflection.
So speaking of journeys, Sievers' life takes another turn after 2006.
What happened?
Well, in 2007, he has this really bad accident.
Oh, no. What kind of accident?
He breaks his leg.
Ouch.
Yeah, it must have been really tough for him.
Yes, especially at that age, recovering from something like that can be really difficult.
And it definitely marked a difficult period for him.
I bet.
A time of, transition and reflection as he navigated aging and declining health.
It's like a fall from the Lebensbaum in a way.
Kind of. But what strikes me is that Andrea doesn't really dwell on the sadness of it all.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, instead she focuses on his, enduring energy and their connection, even after his passing in 2009.
It's beautiful how she sees death not as an ending, but as a transformation.
Yeah, and she even talks about, sensing his presence in a new way.
That's really powerful. It speaks to the enduring power of love and connection.
Absolutely, something that transcends physical limitations.
For sure. And, it kind of makes you think about the impact an artist has even after they're gone.
Right, their work lives on.
And speaking of Sievers' work, the booklet includes some wonderful anecdotes about specific pieces.
Oh, yeah, like what?
Well, there's this story about a charcoal nude he created in 1948.
Okay.
He actually considered it his starting shot, the piece that really ignited his passion for pursuing art professionally.
Wow, and when did he create this?
While taking an evening course at the Volkshochschule.
So he was working a day job, and then, boom, he discovers this hidden talent.
I know, it's never too late, right?
Right. It makes you wonder what hidden talents we all have.
We should all take an evening course just in case.
Maybe we should.
You never know.
Okay, so what other pieces are highlighted?
Well, there's this interesting story about 2 drawings he sent to the Annette Drost-Hulshoff Museum in Meersburg.
Okay, I've never heard of that museum. What's it all about?
It's dedicated to the life and work of the German novelist and poet Annette von Drost-Hulshoff.
Okay.
And these drawings were inspired by her novella, The Judenbuch.
Interesting. So he was drawing inspiration from literature?
Yeah, and he was really proud of these drawings, specifically because of their graphic style and execution.
When you say graphic style, what do you mean?
What generally refers to an emphasis on line form and contrast, often with bold compositions, and Sievers excelled at this style.
Cool.
It really showcases his ability to translate words into visuals.
Oh, and I love this anecdote about a drawing he did of a vintage car from the 1950s.
Oh yeah, what about it?
It was rendered in these delicate watercolors. You can almost feel the rumble of the engine and smell the leather seats just by looking at it.
His attention to detail is incredible.
It's amazing, and it shows how versatile he was as an artist.
Absolutely. He wasn't limited to just charcoal and pen and ink.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. He could really do it all.
And this piece also gives us a peek into his personal interests.
Yeah, like maybe he was a car enthusiast.
Could be, or maybe he just had a keen eye for design aesthetics.
That makes sense.
So moving on, there's also this really moving drawing of a young mother with her sick child.
Ah.
Yeah, it was created in 1976, and Sievers actually considered it one of his best pieces.
Wow. Why is that?
He felt it really captured both the technique and the emotion perfectly.
It must be a powerful image.
It is. You can really feel the mother's worry and the child's fragility, but also a sense of hope and strength.
He really captured the human experience.
He did, and it reveals his sensitivity as an artist, his ability to portray those raw emotions.
Yeah, it's not just about pretty pictures, it's about connecting with people on a deeper level.
Exactly.
What else is there?
Well, he also did this whole series of sketches capturing everyday life in Hamburg.
Oh, cool. Like what?
Everything from like a bustling U-Bahn platform to a tranquil garden scene.
So he was constantly observing his surroundings.
He found beauty in the mundane,
That's a great reminder for all of us to pay attention to those little details in our own lives.
Totally. There's beauty everywhere if you just take the time to look.
Okay, and I have to mention his self-portrait.
Oh, yeah, the one that's in the booklet, right?
Yes, and it's alongside this quote from Leonardo da Vinci.
Oh, really? What does it say?
It says, "The art of drawing possesses such extraordinary qualities that it not only follows the works of nature, but can produce infinitely more than nature itself has made."
Wow, that's a powerful quote.
It is, and pairing it with his self-portrait really emphasizes Sievers' belief in the transformative power of art.
It's like he's saying art can go beyond reality and create new possibilities.
Exactly, and I think what makes this booklet really special is the personal touch that Andrea brings to it.
Yeah, how so?
Well, she includes like handwritten notes and excerpts from her father's letters.
Oh, wow. That's really special.
It creates this sense of intimacy and authenticity that you just don't get from a typical art history book.
It's like we're getting a glimpse into their private conversations.
Exactly, and it adds this whole other layer to our understanding of Sievers' work.
We see him not just as a skilled artist, but as a loving father, a mentor, and a complex individual whose life was shaped by both joy and hardship.
It's a beautiful tribute to him. It really makes you think about what treasures might be hidden in our own families.
It does.
Like what stories and artistic legacies are just waiting to be uncovered.
And shared with the world.
Exactly. Have you ever come across anything like that in your family?
Not quite like this, but
Yep.
Every family has their stories.
Right.
And Sievers' story, it really highlights the importance of preserving those personal histories
For sure.
and celebrating the creative spirit that's in all of us.
You know what I just thought of?
Right.
You can actually see some of Sievers' artwork online.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Andrea mentions a YouTube channel in the booklet,
What's it called?
Ajana4444.
I'll have to check that out.
Me too, it's on my list now.
It's a great way to experience his art firsthand.
Yeah, and it really shows her dedication to her father.
Keeping his memory alive.
Exactly. This whole deep dive has been so inspiring.
It has been, hasn't it?
It's really made me think about the impact of history on art.
Yeah. Sievers' story shows how historical events can shape artistic expression in these really profound ways.
And it makes you realize that art is more than just something to admire in a museum.
It's a living, breathing force that connects us across time and circumstance.
Love that. I'm also really struck by Sievers' resilience.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
the Brezelbuben's defiance during such a difficult time.
It's amazing.
And of course, the really touching bond between Sievers and Andrea.
It's all so inspiring.
Well said.
It's a powerful reminder that we can find meaning and purpose in lives dedicated to art and beauty.
Yeah, even amidst all the challenges life throws our way.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
So to wrap things up, I encourage everyone to seek out Sievers' artwork.
Yes. And see how his journey might resonate with your own experiences.
It's a powerful story.
And maybe even ask yourself what creative sparks are waiting to be ignited within you.
Ooh, I like that.
What stories do you have to share with the world?
Those are great questions to ponder.
Well, a huge thank you to Andrea for sharing her father's story with us.
Yes, thank you, Andrea.
And to all of you listening, we hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity.
And left you feeling a little more connected to the power of art.
And the human spirit. Until next time, keep exploring, keep creating, and keep diving deep.
Bye, everyone.